What is up, everybody? It's Basketball Insider back with another video. Today, we are going over the Hawks offseason. I think they had one of the best, if not the best, in the league. That's up to y'all, though. But we're going to go over what they did this offseason. The Hawks, for starters, were not a very good team last season. That is for sure. They were at the bottom of the East, pretty much. They didn't make the playoffs, weren't very close to it. They weren't even invited to the bubble in Orlando. Their record at the end of the season was 20-47, good enough for the 14th seed in the East. Trae Young basically carried that team with John Collins. Clint Capella, they did make a trade for him at the end of the season. We'll get into that. He hasn't played for them yet, but like I said, we'll get into that later. But I think the Hawks are in for a good season. They're definitely going to, I would say, at least they got to get into the play-in tournament probably, and more than likely they will get into the playoffs. But we'll see. The East is low-key kind of competitive. The top 11 teams are all decent teams. But hey, I'm gonna go over what happened this offseason. First, Danilo Gallinari. He was the biggest pickup for the Hawks this offseason. They signed him to a pretty big deal, 4 years, $72 million deal. Now that is not bad for the Hawks. He obviously wanted to go play, get his bag somewhere else. Sorry, he did not. That was my bad. He was not the one that signed for 4 years, 72 mil. I got them mixed up. He signed for 3 years, 61.5 mil. We'll get into the guy who signed for 4 years, 72 later. But Danilo Gallinari brings a lot to the table. Small forward slash power forward. He averaged 19 points per game with the Thunder last season, 5 rebounds, 89% from the free throw line, 41% from the three-point line, and 44% just in overall field goal percentage. These are good stats, clearly. He's been a pretty good player for 10 years. He's been in the league since 2008. That is when he was drafted by the Nuggets, and he's always been a good player. Gallinari is going to bring good offense to this team. He's not the greatest defender. He's not bad by any means, but he's not the greatest. But his offense will be more than enough for this Hawks team as they look to get Trae Young that playoff experience. And that's the biggest signing, in my opinion, for them. But they also got Bogdan Bogdanovic from the Kings. Actually, he was a restricted free agent, and the Hawks offered an offer sheet to him of 4 years, $72 million. The Bucks did not want to match it; they declined it. Or sorry, the Kings did not want to match it and declined it. And he went to the Hawks. It was a whole weird thing. This is a weird offseason for Bogdanovic as he originally was signed and traded to the Bucks. That trade fell through, and now he's on the Hawks. But he was a good player for the Kings last season. He's always been known to hit some clutch shots in his career. He's only in his third season, but he's hit some big shots in his career already. He averaged about 15 points last season, 37% from the three-point line, 44 from the field goal, 3.4 rebounds, and about 3.3 assists per game. Let me know what y'all's thoughts is on him getting signed by the Hawks. I think this is a good signing for sure. Um, he's gonna bring more offense to the team. He's gonna probably be the starting shooting guard. The starting lineup is looking like this: Trae Young at the point, probably I would say Bogdanovic at the shooting guard, Gallinari at the small forward, Capella at the 5, and Collins at the 4. That is a very good lineup and a deep bench of Herder and rookies. And we'll get into the red. I'll tell y'all what that bench is looking like, but it's looking like a good team. Next up, they signed Chris Dunn, who averaged about 7.3 points per game, 3.6 rebounds, 3.4 assists, 2 steals per game, and he was almost on the All NBA defensive team. Some people say he got snubbed from making it. He was a great defender. He always has been his whole career. He's a good player, and maybe he will be nice for this team. He's going to bring that defense that they need because right now the defense from the guards is not there. Trae Young is not known to be a good defender at all. He's actually statistically the worst defender in the NBA last season, and Herder slash Bogdanovic are not the greatest either. So he will help that bench unit play some good defense off the bench and might close out games if they need a stop. We'll see how that goes. I'll let y'all know. We'll see how the Hawks decide to play it. Preseason starts in less than a week, so what will happen, I do not know. Anyway, the next signing was Rajon Rondo, and this was a good signing for the Hawks. Obviously, good veteran leadership. 7.1 points per game, 5 assists with the Lakers last season, but in the playoffs, he averaged 9 points per game, almost 7 assists, 5 rebounds, just about 40% from the three-point and 45 from the field. He was amazing for the playoffs in the Lakers with the Lakers last season, and obviously helped them win that title. Had some big games, some good shots for them. and he's now on the Hawks. He does not want to try to run it back with the Lakers, and he will be the backup point guard behind Trae Young, and obviously help Trae Young, maybe show him how to play a little bit of defense. We'll see how that goes, but Rondo is going to help that team out for sure. He's going to give that locker room presence that they need. They're a very young team, so that's going to be basically their only veteran at this rate. So, yeah, we'll see how he fits with them. Should be a fun one. He signed to a 2-year, $15 million deal, so he'll be there for the next couple of seasons. Now, the draft. They had a good pick. The sixth pick, actually, they drafted Onyeka Onwenu. He played at USC. He averaged 16 points per game, 3 blocks, 1 steal, 9 rebounds, 61% from the field goal, and was all Pac-12, all first team. So he was a great player in college. Good pickup for the Hawks. He'll probably start the season off behind Clint Capella, and I wouldn't be surprised if eventually he moved into the starting lineup, depending on what they decide with Clint Capella. It was definitely an interesting drafting. It kind of reminds me what the Magic did with Mo Bamba when they already had Nikola Vucevic. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully he doesn't get hindered by Capella, but I don't think he will. If anything, they'll probably give up on Capella and just hand it over to Onwenu if he is good, if he plays well for them. We'll see how that goes. But speaking of Capella, he has not played a game for the Hawks yet. He, on the Rockets last season, averaged 14 points per game, 2 blocks, 14 rebounds, and 63% from the field goal. But we'll see how the centers work there. I think the Hawks will have a bright season ahead of them. My prediction, out of 72 games that we are getting this season, I think they'll win 40 I think they'll run around 40, make the playoffs, and maybe they will make some noise. I think this season in the East, there could definitely be some upsets. For instance, the Wizards with Westbrook, Hawks, any of those lower seed teams could probably upset a team or at least give them a run in the first round of a couple of games. We'll see how it goes, though. Obviously, I am not able to predict the future, but it should be fun because the Hawks already have good players. Obviously, Trae Young, All-Star last season. John Collins is a great power forward. Kevin Huerter has been great for them. He had a good season last year. And Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter were rookies last season. They're going in their sophomore seasons. They had good rookie seasons. So it's going to be a fun team to watch. 100%. Let me know what you guys think. What will they do? Give me your prediction on what their record will be and if they will make the playoffs or not. And if they do, will they make any noise or will they be a first round exit? That's up to y'all. Tell me, let me know, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.